Another question I get asked a lot is how can I prepare my mind for writing the book I want to write? Like, how do I create, tap into the juices, the creative juices? And I tell them, here's how I did it, right? So what I would do typically is, if I'm going to write a specific genre of book, whatever it is, I will read that genre of book. I will find authors who write that genre and write it well, that I know of and like, and I usually write what I like. So I'll find authors that I like and read their books, and every other book I can find in that genre for like 2 months. So I'll just read for 2 months straight, nonstop, and just engross myself into that world. And I just get like deep in it, into the characters and the happenstances and the events, all of it. And what people don't realize when they do that, this is what I recommended them. I tell them to do this. I advise them to do. First thing I tell them to do is read my book. If you want to, see a good idea of a good story, read my book. But I tell them, when you do this, you may not even realize it. Of course, you won't realize it. But as you're reading these books with the intent of writing a book of that genre, as you're reading these books, you're noting particular characters, you're noting particular events, and you're going, oh yeah, you know what? In my book, I'm gonna have him do this here. I like that, something like that, or it can just spark an idea. It doesn't have to be even remotely the same, but you're reading along, and all of a sudden you go, oh yes, I like that. That's like, I can use that, and I can build from that and go from there, and you'll note it, but you won't realize you note it. But as you're reading, this is what I usually would do. I'll set the book down. While I'm reading, if I think something's a really good idea, I'll set the book down and I'll think about it. And I'll start envisioning my book and my story and going, this is what I'm going to do. And it might go for 2 hours, 3 hours. I'm just sitting there, in creation mode. Then I pick the book back up and I go back to reading, right? Now, after you do that through 8 or 10 novels over 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, usually would take me about 2 months. I would do it for 2 months, just reading books of that genre, especially book authors that I like. And what you're doing is subconsciously, through almost like osmosis, is you're writing your book. So now, by the time you get to your 8-week point, and you're like, all right, man, I read 10 books on this. I'm ready. You're so anxious. You're just like, I can't wait to get going, man. My book is written. It's in my mind. I'm ready to go. And so after you call that limit, which may be 8 weeks or 6 books or whatever you call the limit, and you're done, you're just like, all right, let's rock. Get on there and you just go. And so your book is already written. So the way to write your book and prepare to write your book is simply to read books that in the genre you want to like and make yours better. The goal is to make your books better than all the ones you read. And you can do it. So God bless you. That's how you write a great book. Get moving. White